Hey. Speak to me cleanly if you're going to
stop
speak.
stealing my slang.
It's already stolen. I go around the station.
I stole it from Solitaire, so.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm stealing from Solitaire. I go around the station and people, I heard the other day someone asked Syph if he'd heard a saying that I stole from him. That's how well I steal your shit. Yo, we have an awesome guest today on Juan Epstein for the kids. MCA from the Beastie Boys.
Yes.
Incredible. Dude, can I say legend or you don't like that, right?
Make you feel old?
Hey, whatever
I
you
hate
gotta
it.
say. Whatever you gotta say.
Fucking legend.
Fucking legend in the game, man.
I'll just try and soak it up.
Yeah, I mean, does that get old though? Like sometimes does it get annoying to have people approaching you on such a legend tip all the time? Or you're like, yo, I'm still doing shit. Like I just made a movie.
I only get it once in a while, so you know.
Bullshit. I don't believe that for a second.
Well, you look like a regular guy. Like you could walk around the streets and not get harassed. But I'm sure there's times where people are like, "Yo, the fucking Beastie Boy."
But I'm thinking about getting a look. Like I want to get like crazy like bandanas and like like tie like weird like rips in my jeans and get like a look so that people will know me.
You should.
Maybe it's a little late for me to cultivate the look.
Is there one of you guys that gets recognized the most for some reason?
Well, actually the thing is that we all get recognized as Mike D. Like you basically anywhere you go, dudes are just like dudes yelling across the street to me like, "Yo, Mike D, yo, let's smoke a bowl, Mike D." Like, I'm not Mike D.
And MC and Adarac are both named Adam.
Yes.
So
we have the odds, right?
You would think so. You think everyone would just say Adam and you'd be safe. No. But instead they call you Mike D. So
it's 2 out of 3. You're gonna get an Adam.
And we used to get it all the time. People always just come up, yo, which one's Mike D? I want to meet Mike D. I was like, why?
Did Mike D get the most play on the road early on?
Why? Come on.
What? This was years before you were married. Your wife doesn't think that you got play on the road early on? You were the fucking Beastie Boys, for God's sake.
What are we talking about here? Don't we have some shirts to give away or something?
Listen, man.
I'm sorry. All I want...
I've seen there's no format at MCA.
MCA doesn't realize that I am a dirtball who just wants to hear about the benefits of being a Beastie Boy. I'm telling you, let me tell you right now, being Peter Rosenberg, another white Jew in hip-hop, not nearly as glamorous as being a Beastie Boy. So I'm trying to hope that someone got to live the glamour life along the way. So are you guys like still... I mean, do you still listen to hip hop regularly?
Yeah, but I do find myself listening to a lot of old school hip hop.
Like, what do you listen to? Old school shit.
I mean, I listen to probably stuff that's from the late '70s, like on up through like the mid '90s. But I need to catch up. I need to catch up on the last 10 years.
Well, when was the first Beastie Boys record?
Well, the first record was a hardcore. It was a punk record that came out in 1982, beginning of '82. It came out.
7-inch? I mean,
a 7-inch with 8 songs on it.
What?
Yeah, that's the way they used to do them. The punk records were like EPs, and because all the songs were like a minute long or 30 seconds long. So
you guys played instruments?
Yeah, we started out like I was the bass player, Mike was the singer. Adrock was a guitar player, and this girl, Kate Schellenbach, used to play drums.
Oh, Kate Schellenbach, of course. I don't know who that is.
How? I mean, I always knew about that record, but I don't know anything about it. But like, how well did it do? Like, how much of a buzz did that garner?
Within the like hardcore community, people knew it, but it was a small group of people that were into that kind of music. So there was probably like whatever 50 or 100 kids in New York that were into that type of music.
Is that like CBGBs or
exactly? We played CBs and Maxes. We used to open up for Bad Brains, like Minor Threat, like bands like that. That was what was going on.
And so you made that in '82.
Yeah, but at the same time, we were listening to hip hop. Like I even probably just before I got into punk, I started I found this Spoonie G record on the street. Somebody was throwing away a stack of like 12 inches, and I picked them up and brought them home, and I started listening to this Spoonie G record, and I just kind of listened to it over and over again.
Which Spoonie G record?
I think it was called like Spankin' and Freakin' or something like that. It's the one that starts with just the beat and the cowbell. Mm-hmm. And
I don't really know any Spoonie G. That's why I've never really known any.
And then we kind of got into we would all like buy every 12 inch was coming out. We were listening to like Treacherous 3 and Funky 4+1 and Master Don Committee, like whatever was coming out. And
but Beastie Boys are from Brooklyn or from Manhattan?
I'm from Brooklyn, but the other two guys are from the city, from Manhattan.
From the LES or like?
No, Mike is actually from the Upper West Side, and Adam is from the West Village.
Okay.
And where are you from in Brooklyn?
From like Atlantic Avenue and Court Street.
Brooklyn?
Brooklyn, pick it up.
Okay, so then you buying. I'm sorry if I'm taking it too detailed, but this is like stuff I always wanted to know. Like, so you made the punk record, and then what? Rick Rubin found you guys, or
no? We were kind of like rhyming at the same time. We were kind of like really into hip hop, and then we went in the studio. We made this really weird record called Cookie Puss, where we just kind of like played a drum beat and like bass line and started scratching over it. Just scratched in a bunch of weird stuff over it. So we put that out as a 12-inch. And then when we started playing that live, then we started rhyming in our show. We started kind of like, we'd switch off. We'd play some punk, and then we'd like kind of like rhyme for a while. And we actually were looking for a DJ to do the show with, and Rick was like some cat from around there. Someone was like, oh, you should get this dude Rick. He knows how to DJ a little bit. And so Rick came and DJ'd for us. And Rick was really into, like, he was running the entertainment committee at NYU. So he was bringing cats like Africa Bambaataa, Jazzy J down to play and down to play at his school. And those guys kind of schooled him on DJing. Like Jazzy J started showing Rick how to DJ. And so then Rick kind of wanted to be a producer. Rick produced this record with Tila Rock and Jazzy J called It's Yours. Which is an amazing record.
Yeah, it's one of the big ones.
And then that's how he met Russell, because then Russell loved It's Yours. And so then Russell and Rick met, and they kind of connected and started hanging out.
And they put out It's Yours, right?
Def Jam. That was the first Def Jam record.
Yeah, okay.
That was
It's Yours?
Yeah, it was the first one that had the Def Jam logo
had the
on
sample
it. It actually came out through somebody else, but Rick just put the Def Jam logo on it.
Yeah.
Rick put his address at his dorm, like a P.O. box in the back. That's how LL Cool J sent his tape into that
address.
Yeah, and Ad Rock was going through a box of tapes in Rick's drawers, in Rick's dorm, like listening to all the tapes, and he found that one I Need a Beat that was like LL like rhyming over I don't know, he might have been rhyming over a metronome or something, saying I Need a Beat, and Adam was like saying to Rick like, yo, you should check this one out. This kid's good,
Fuck, that's crazy. You cool with LL now?
Yeah, if I run into LL, he's always cool. Yeah.
Damn. And then this is a strange connection. I do a comedy show once a month. The lady who runs the comedy show, the booking side of it, her husband was Rick Rubin's roommate. The guy, he was a video director.
Oh, yeah. I bet I know his name.
Is it Adam or?
Adam Dubin or something like
that? Yep.
Right, so Rick had this roommate.
And there's a book, I think it's Rick Rubin's, or somebody's book. Is it Rick Rubin's book? And the first line is something like, me and my roommate Adam started bang, and she's like, oh, it's Russell's book. She's like, I went into Rick's room and Adam was there. Like, it's like the first line.
That's funny. Yeah, Russell was a character. So when Russell and Rick met, Russell asked that he wanted to manage us, and Russell was like, his management, like, you can't even picture the way Russell, he had this like bummy little office with like a dirty couch in there. He was on Broadway and like 26th Street. Like,
and how old is Russell at this point?
This is like, we're talking about 1983, maybe 84.
So Russell's a kid too, essentially.
He was older than us, though. He was probably like in his 30s or something, and we were probably like...
No. He couldn't have been.
He was definitely older than us.
25.
I don't know.
He could have been 30.
He seemed older.
Yeah, he could have been 30 by then, because that's 25. That would make him 50, 58 now or something like that. Yeah, he could have been 28 years old. Yeah,
Russell's that old?
His big acts, Russell's big acts were like Curtis Blow, and like he managed all the like Spider D.
He was managing them.
Yeah, Houdini, like all these people. This was before LL.
Right.
And he managed Run DMC, but Run DMC were on Profile.
Right.
And then Russell.
No, he's related to one of the guys from Run DMC.
Is that true?
Yeah, I think the Run one.
You learn a lot on this podcast.
Yeah. So then what happened? So then, Rick and Russell started talking about starting a label together. So that's how that jumped off.
And they took you guys, and so Russell managed you guys at first. He did take
Russell
you on.
Wanted to manage us, yeah.
And did he? He was.
Yeah, he did. He managed us. Yeah.
And they let him try a couple things. And
so where did you guys come in terms of the order of records that came out on Def Jam? What number were you guys?
We got 12 inches out first.
Right.
Yeah, the first 12-inch we put out would have been the Rock Hard 12-inch. Rock Hard with Beastie Groove on the other side, which is a crap record. But and that might have been right after LL's, like maybe I Need a Beat was like the first one after It's Yours, something like that, and then Rock Hard might have been the third one. I don't know.
And then how far from that was it before the Beastie Boys were really popping everywhere?
That was probably 85, and then we were recording License to Ill probably in '85, beginning of '86. And
the whole album.
License to Ill came out towards the end of '86, and it really popped in '87 though.
What's your favorite one? Critically, it's like everyone loves Paul's Boutique is generally these days like the one that everyone says is like your masterpiece. But what would you say is your favorite?
I don't know. I kind of like some of those ones like Check Your Head and Ill Communication when we went back to playing instruments and started incorporating it with hip hop. I mean, I like all of them in different ways at different times, but to me that was kind of interesting, like bringing those two things back together, like playing instruments and rhyming over.
This fucking kid I went to high school with, he was like when you were doing the rocks, I was like heavy quote unquote hip hop dude. And he's like, no, this Beastie Boy shit is crazy. So what you want? And he was playing it crazy. Wasn't there a Muggs remix?
Yeah, the Muggs remix, the Soul Assassins remix was crazy.
Fire. But so he's playing, he's like, this is crazy. And he used to, on a radio station here in New York, I think every night at 10 they used to play Get the Lead Out, just Led Zeppelin joints, like 3 Led Zeppelin joints. And he was like all into rock, and I'm like, yo, this is fucking whack, yo. I'm a hip hop dude. And then I got into that Beastie Boys song, So What You Want. I was like, yo, this shit is fucking crazy. That's and funny. I was like, and then I used to study like album covers, and when you had like the studio with all like the instruments, and like I was like, yo, this is what I want to do. This is it.
That's cool.
This is it.
Pass the Mic was the one for me from that record. I mean, I love So What You Want too, but I really loved Pass the Mic. The fucking video was so weird.
Yeah.
That was when you guys were really getting with all like the weird reverse lenses and shit and all kind of weird shit in the forest for the Pass the Mic video.
So What You Want is the one.
Oh, So What You Want is the forest?
Yeah, Pass the Mic is the one where we're like actually behind our studio, and there's like a weird flight of like metal stairs.
Oh yeah.
Like
but
a fire escape.
How big a part of that were you? Like, were you into the video stuff at that point already?
Those were both videos I directed. So What You Want and Pass the Mic.
So What You Want, you directed that?
Yeah.
That shit's crazy.
So that's the original Blair Witch. In the woods with the colors and shit.
Yes.
Original.
Indeed.
So and now you did this movie. We should plug his movie on the podcast as well. He has a movie that.
That's right. That is why I'm here. Right?
Yeah, that is why you're here to plug this movie. Not. I just watched it, gunning for that #1 spot. It's about. I just made you explain it on Hot 97, so I'll give a quick synopsis. But it's basically a documentary about the Elite 24. Was it the first game? Was that the first Elite 24 basketball game?
Yeah, that was.
What
the
is
first
that?
one.
What's Elite 24?
Elite 24 is an annual all-star game, high school all-star game at the Rucker in Harlem that brings together the top high school basketball players from around the country.
From the whole country.
Yeah, normally these games are separated. Like normally the kids are split up by their sneaker affiliations. Like you only have
high school.
Yeah, you only have the Nike All-Star Game or the Adidas All-Star Game, and often they're split up where it'll only be seniors. Like the McDonald's game is only seniors.
Right.
So this was the first game of its kind that just brings together all the top high school players in the country, regardless.
Any affiliation, any grade, anything.
Yeah.
It's the top.
And then to have them outdoors at the Rucker in Harlem, like that's a big part of why I wanted to do the doc, is because I just thought it was amazing to have this game up.
And this was the first one of its kind?
Yeah.
So now it's an annual thing.
Now it's an annual
thing.
But
you shot this when?
September 06.
So the kids who were in it, 4 of them just went to the NBA on Thursday. Many of them are still in college right now, and a couple are still in high school about to. Like Lance Stevenson from Coney Island, not even in college yet.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's really bugged, though, because I watched it the night of the draft. So I literally saw a kid I liked. I was like, Green's from Baltimore, right?
Dante, yeah.
Dante Green's from Baltimore. I'm from D.C. So like when I saw Dante Green from Baltimore, I was like, oh shit, I hope this kid made it. And he loves his little brother and shit and all that. And I was like, this guy seems like a good kid. I literally go to ESPN.com. He'd gotten drafted like 5 minutes earlier. Yeah. So it was a very interesting way to watch
Dante got drafted. He's great. I think he actually should have gone earlier in the draft. I think people don't realize how strong Dante's going to be.
They probably didn't see as much as you saw because you like.
He went 28. I think he could have gone.
He was a freshman though, right?
He could have gone closer to 20.
He was a freshman, right?
He just did his freshman year.
Does it matter?
He just did 1 year. There's a rule now that kids have to go to 1 year.
1 year, yeah, I read that.
And so he did his first year.
Yeah, it matters though. I mean, like what you see in someone, a lot of times they will see in a player a ton of potential, but maybe if they, being a freshman, it's hard to.
No, I'm saying does it matter?
Dante went. Oh no, I'm spacing on.
Maryland played them this year. Who the fuck was it?
Was it the one with the one they had the jerseys on?
They had the jerseys. They were the ones with the jerseys. Not Virginia, Virginia Tech. Anyways, I know that Dante wanted to go to Maryland. He was, and for some reason Gary didn't. Coach Gary Williams from Maryland wasn't interested in him.
You played for that team?
I went to Maryland.
Did you play for the team?
Didn't play for the team. but we weren't interested in him apparently, which sucks. And apparently he talked some serious shit about him after our game, and after like dropping bombs on us in his press conference, he was like, "You fucked up, Gary." Did you guys? I've noticed though, like, it's an overwhelmingly positive documentary. It's not particularly like you didn't really attack any of the negatives that I'm sure are out there in terms of you hinted at it,
yeah,
the shoe companies and stuff. But was there stuff that you decided not to use to keep it sort of positive?
Yeah, I felt like I didn't want to go like full on like the Geraldo Rivera expose piece. Like I really just wanted the film to like look at these kids' lives and certainly talk about some of the challenges that they face or some of the things that go on, because you know their lives are kind of hectic in a way. It's exciting, but it's also hectic to be a 16-year-old kid and being pulled in every direction. Everybody's got something to say to you. You know, you're getting written about, getting critiqued, like right in front of these kids. People are saying like, he needs to work on his, this game. I don't think he's going to be that strong a player in the NBA. They'll be saying like right in front of it's a lot of heavy stuff. And they're getting pulled by like sneaker companies, and they got coaches, and of course their families in many cases are kind of depending on them to succeed. And so so we wanted to look at some of the pressures, but in a lot of ways I just wanted to like celebrate, I mean they're kids that are just really passionate about playing ball. So yeah, we didn't go too crazy.
You left. You just did a teeny. I'm sorry. I really am coming off like a pervert in this interview, but you did just a teeny bit on the girls aspect. That was an aspect that I'd imagine is interesting for these kids. Is that from an early age, not only the access they have to women, but also the weird and sometimes not so healthy circumstances in which they.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting that these guys are so passionate about playing ball that they'll go against their basic instincts. Like most of these guys will say like, the girls are there, but I'm not going to go after the girls because you mess up and you're going to ruin your career.
So people really drove that message home to them.
Yeah, they're so focused on ball that a lot of them, and probably not all of them, but some of them are like going against that basic instinct. And I thought that was pretty interesting that they were, to be a 16-year-old kid and decide that you're not going to go
chase ass, you're going to play basketball
is interesting.
Yeah, I say there's a reason that I'm not in the NBA. I played good in 3 games. I would have had herpes by Saturday night. It's on. It's a great film though. It really is. You want a question?
Copy of that? No.
Oh, the DVD?
Yeah.
Oh, 1995. We're moving these. It's got the thing. What's the name of the company, the production company?
Oscilloscope.
Is that you?
I started my own distribution company, and we're distributing independent films.
Oh, is this playing everywhere, by the way?
It's opening in like about 10 cities first, and then it'll go out to.
Do you know what the cities are? Because our nerds are dispersed all over the country.
You know what, I'm going to tell people to look at gunninmovie.com. GUNNIN movie.com.
Has the list of it.
And that lists all the theaters that it's playing in, because otherwise I'm going to mess it up.
I kind of want to go see it in the theater now at the Magic Johnson in Harlem.
This movie is meant to be seen at the theater. It's got a crazy surround sound mix with and also, with surround sound you have crazy subwoofers built into the movie theater. So I was pumping the hip hop tracks into the subwoofers, and like just the way it's shot and the way it's mixed, it's definitely meant to be seen theatrically. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go to the 11th Street one. I try to stay away from the Magic Johnson Theater.
Yeah, I know you're not doing that.
Say
it. I know. I know
they're loud in there.
I know you're
they're
not
yelling. Don't yell. I want to listen.
There's
to
nothing
the
to yell at in this movie, though. Like
they're gonna yell.
They'll ooh and ah at some of the moves. You might get some oohing and ahhing, but
yeah, but
yelling.
Anyway, this movie's good uptown too, because it's just a few blocks from the Rucker.
So. That's why I want to check it out. I think it'd be sweet.
I got stranded at the Rucker once. I'm not a fan.
What happened?
I was shooting MTV. It rained. I didn't have a ride. Let's not get into that.
Can you go play? Is the Rucker open generally?
Yeah.
You just go shoot there?
It's a regular park.
Yeah, it's a regular park during the day, but then they have these like tournaments there.
You ever ball there?
I shot around with cats. I definitely, a little bit. When we were up there filming, I was just shooting around.
How's your game?
I like to think it's all right, but I don't think I'm not making myself eligible for the draft anytime soon. But we play all the time. I play like 2 or 3 days a week.
You ever play with Bobito?
I played with Bob before.
He's nice, right?
Yeah, Bob is good. Bob is good.
What's your game
I'll
like?
Fuck Bob up on the court.
Are you a jump shooter?
I don't have much of an outside shot. I'm working on that.
So what do you have?
Shot. I'd rather try and bring it inside.
Really?
Yeah.
He's walking down
ballsy. Not me.
He's intergalactic, so he's got to get right in there.
That's very true. Yo, man, thanks for hanging out with us and doing a little Juan Epstein. I know you're a busy guy. You're promoting this movie.
No, it's great. Cool. Thanks for having me on.
How rich are you?
Crazy.
Crazy rich.
Actually,
I knew it. No, I knew it.
Honestly, not as rich as most cats who do what we do, because we're really picky about like advertising. We don't do like
the Beastie
we
Boys.
don't let people use our music in TV commercials.
Really? Why not?
Because I don't want to see my face on a Right Guard commercial. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like,
you're good though.
Like the way I grew up seeing musicians, like the way that their music is used is really important to me. You know, like it means something. So like, I mean, we do all right with playing
People
shows and selling records, but yeah, I mean, that's what most musicians that have crazy money, it's because they get crazy money thrown at them from advertising.
Licensing. Right. But
I'm not
people
gonna
ask you to use your
anybody else
songs
for doing, but yeah, people ask all the time.
And you just say, I
mean, once in a while we'll do things specifically for films if we like the film, or if it's for, if it's connected with something that makes sense. But we're not just like.
So all three of you have to make the decision.
Doing a Sprite commercial or some shit.
All three of you have to sit and make the decision when it comes in?
The Sprite commercials are actually pretty good, though. Those early 90s ones with Large Professor, those were actually pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to call people out, but it's just the way.
No, that's your music.
Coming up as like a punk band, too. Like, punk.
No, it goes against your nature. You don't have to explain to me. Where do you live?
And actually, just like 3 blocks from the station.
Really?
Seriously. And our studio is down on Canal Street, right, like 5 blocks from here.
Oh, word up! What are you guys? Have you guys made any official endorsement for Obama yet?
I'll do it right now. I don't know if I've made an official endorsement, but I'm so psyched that Obama got the nomination.
Word? Yeah, we're pretty.
Why is that?
I think he's amazing. I think he's, regardless, race, gender aside, I think the guy just has heart.
I'm not into politics at all, but I feel like this guy's been pushing me like on Obama, and him pushing me makes me go against it because I hate to be pushed.
Sorry, I know.
But I keep watching the guy, and I'm like, yo, I kind of like this guy, man.
He seems sincere. I mean, he seems as sincere as you could hope for someone in the position that he's in.
Exactly. Yeah.
So word up, you heard that's an official MCA from the Beastie Boys endorsement. I feel pretty comfortable saying that.
He's super political. Like his whole family's like into politics, so he pushes this shit on me. It drives me crazy.
I feel comfortable saying that Ad Rock and Mike D are probably also gonna.
Definitely, yeah, we're supporting him.
You hear about your boy Ralph Nader shooting himself in the foot this week? Do you hear about that?
No, what did he do? What did he do this time?
Oh, Uncle, not Uncle Ralph, the anti Uncle Ralph. Ralph Nader started talking ish about Obama, and said some stuff that I don't think he intended to be racist. He just thought it was real talk, but didn't really know his role and felt like he could just say whatever he wanted, and came out and basically said that he feels like Obama's talking white to people and is trying to kiss up to white people and not really do anything for the black community.
Now, I can't believe people are so focused on race and gender with this whole thing. They couldn't even talk about Obama without talking about race, and they couldn't talk about Hillary without talking about gender. It's like, just look at these people and see what they got to say. Who cares? Like that people got to look at them as people and see what's behind, see what they have to say. Who are they? What's their intentions?
I think you have two things against you right now. You're an artist, and you're from New York, and we from New York see things differently.
It's true.
And you go. I'm sure you travel all around. You go to the rest of the country, and it's like.
Well, hold on. But then everyone always does that. In the same sentence where they big up New York for being such an open-minded place, they're closed-minded and they shit on Middle America. Like, no one has the mentality that we have in New York. There are plenty of good people out there like that.
There are, but I'm saying there's a lot of people that just follow the norm. Like, okay, boom. Being from New York, and I don't know why you don't get this. Oh, yeah, because you're not from New York.
Thank you.
But we have a third eye. We have a third eye. When you see like Fox News and it says fair and balanced, we go, if you're fair and balanced, your slogan wouldn't be fair and balanced. So we automatically go, chill out, Fox News. But other places where there's just, I'm not saying Middle America's whack, I'm just saying the norm, the regular status quo, they're fair and balanced.
I think being in New York, you do get used to getting hustled. Like, there's hustlers around. And like, I remember the first time when I went to Jamaica, I was on the beach, and Cat came up to me, and he's trying to sell me something for a second. I was like, yeah, right. And the dude immediately said, you're from New York, right? I was
Yeah.
like, yeah.
And he left you alone.
He's like, okay, and he just walked away. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
like
Because you've seen The Hustle before. Right.
but you learn it from early, like 5, you're with your mom or whatever on the street, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. You learn it early. There's not that type of hustle.
Yeah.
A lot of other places.
That's very true. I was definitely slow. I'm still slow.
It makes you cynical too, being from New York. Because I remember the first time I went to other places, and you go to the store, and the person behind the counter is like, "Hi, how you doing? You having a nice
And you get
day?"
nervous.
And I'm like, "What do you want?" You know, like what?
What do you want from me?
I hate the New York arrogant attitude, but I understand where it comes from. You know what I'm saying? But like I don't try to ever act like that when I go out of town. But someone's like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm like, what does he want?
What do you? Well, but going back to Obama real quick though, I do think that this next several months, and Nader already exposed himself. People in general, in real life and daily life, are going to expose themselves, like because racism's out there, and it's a sickness that is so deep, and that a lot of times people like you and me, and I'm talking about like white people who don't see things in terms of things like that. People can mask it a lot, but it's going to come to the surface. A lot of things are going to come to the surface because people aren't able to hold back their racism. They wear it fairly close to their sleeve. And like you're going to find people like who you know are Democrats who are like, I'm voting for McCain. And you're like, why? And they won't want to say it, but it's going to come to the surface. And I think there's one of the upsides of Obama in terms of race is that people's cards are going to get pulled for how stupid this is. Like, are you really making decisions based on that? That's really what you're thinking about? Because when these guys stand next to each other, when McCain and Obama stand next to each other, you're going to be very hard pressed to be an intelligent person who's going to really think that McCain is better for this country than Obama. It's going to become very difficult for people to think that.
I also just think that the way that Obama chooses to deal with things and not drag things into the dirt, like even when Hillary was trying to drag him into the dirt, like he always took the high road.
He wouldn't do it.
I think that he gained a lot of respect from people from doing that, and I'm just hoping that that's going to continue on, through the campaign, and that even when McCain and his troops try and drag him through the dirt, that he's going to take the high road, and just people will see that.
I think at first people had a tendency to be like, "Come on, man, fight back." But then after you do it enough times, it's like if he continues to do that, people will appreciate the high road.
The speech he gave, what did it for me was the speech he gave about when the pastor shit was happening.
The race speech.
And he talked about his white grandmother and all that.
That was a great speech.
I have a white grandmother, like my grandma's Irish, and that's what I was like. Yeah, I'm fucking with this guy.
Yep,
I like this. That was the speech.
It's an epic speach. That's one of the.
Posted that on our link to that on our website.
Yeah, that was the
website.
That was the day. But then the race like is that's all people see, like a black guy.
Well, hopefully this will be one of the things that changes it.
That's the thing, though. This could go such a long way to making people feel differently.
Could really bring a lot of things into balance.
Hey, that was MCA from the Beastie Boys. This has been Juan Epstein.
We're going ending shit again. He always ends shit pre-ender.
And there's no chicken nuggets in here, Juanito. Why are you walking? Juanito just walks in arbitrarily when there's food.
What does beastie mean? I just wanted to know that.
Oh, it seemed like a funny thing when we started. It was like a punk band that we just threw together. Like everybody around that punk scene back then was in like 5 bands, and we just kind of threw it together to probably thought we'd play a couple of shows, and it seemed like a funny name. And I think if we had any idea that it would have lasted like however many 25 odd years that it's lasted, we might have thought of something more clever.
Better, right?
It worked pretty well.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yay, Beastie Boys. Woo!
Are you done? Now are you done?
Thank you so much.
I don't want to cut you off again.
Go ahead, end it.
That was MCA from the Beastie Boys on Juan Epstein. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
Go see the movie, man. It's a wonderful movie. Go catch it. Gunning for that #1 spot. Well, we'll be back.
We'll be back. Where the fuck are we going?
We're going to do a part 2 later.